Hey y'all, if you're a loyal subscriber and caught this when I originally released it, then Happy New Year. And if you don't fall into that category, well then, I curse you with horrible anal fissures until you either forward this video to 10 people, post it on a prominent message board or website, or hit the subscribe button. Choice is yours. Anyway, I've decided to do some actual educational content to explain and help you understand the different archetypes of decks in card games. I say this knowing full well you're still just going to net deck, but I haven't yet hit the bottom of the CPM barrel, so while I still have a couple of shekels of self-respect left, I'm going to hold off on making that video. So the topic of today's video is I'm going to be talking about one of the three main archetypes of decks, and that is aggro. Also, I'm going to be doing this within the realm of Shadowverse, an online card game, because of a few reasons. One, it's a good game. Two, you should play good games. Three, I commentate official events. And four, it's actually a lot of fun. So take a look at the diagram here. This is the basic archetype triangle for most card games out there, comprised of aggro, control, and mid-range decks. Before the vets start yelling at me, sometimes the full triangle is reversed, but for the most time you can just go by this. So today we're going to focus on the top of the triangle about what an aggro deck is, how does it win, and also how to build one. Alright, what is an aggro deck? The formal definition is something like aggro decks, they seek to overrun and overpower their opponents in the early game, most notably from turns 1 through 4. They prioritize tempo, or to put it another way, dictating the pace of the game by playing out threats that the opponent has to respond to. They deal damage through the use of low-cost followers or monsters, effects, and spells faster than their opponent can figure out a way to heal, defend, or execute their own game plan. If I had to put that in layman terms, it'd probably be something like... Yeah, that's about right. At this point, you're probably asking, well then East, how do I build an aggro deck? To which my answer is that's a stupid question, the same way you build all of your decks. If, on the other hand, you're trying to do it yourself, well then here's some simple guidelines to build an aggro deck. For whatever deck you're making, look at the cheapest cost cards that you can play from turns 1 through 6. Of those, prioritize any card that can deal direct damage to the enemy opponent either immediately or very quickly. This can be through the ability of being able to attack the leader as soon as they're played, like Storm in Shadowverse. It might also be the effects from monsters that deal damage directly to the enemy leader in some form or fashion as well. After that, you want to look for those followers that are going to stick around on the board for a long time, with effects like ignoring the first time they're damaged, or if they summon another follower once they're destroyed. Additionally, you can just find a big, beefy follower that's hard for your opponent to remove. This works for aggro as well. Keep in mind that for the aggro game plan, in most situations, you're going to want to go wide rather than tall. So when you're thinking about how to spend your resources, you want to get as many bodies in play as possible. This is because in card games, especially in the earlier turns, it's hard for the opponent to deal damage to multiple targets when they don't have many resources to work with. Also, if you're like me, then you also care about the aesthetics of the cards. And if you like aggro, well then you're in luck, because card games usually save the coolest and the best artwork for aggro cards. Feast your eyes on these babies right here. Wait. Hold on a second. Oh, wrong slide. One sec, guys. Let me just switch this real fast. Alright. Feast your eyes on these babies right here. They're kind of cool, Teeth. He's real popular. Everybody loves Twerky. They're not that bad. So now that we know what an aggro deck is, and we know how to build one, let's talk about how you can go about beating an aggro deck. Now, I've hinted at it a couple of times in this video already. All you really need to do is play the waiting game. Because aggro has little to no threats in the late game, it's best to give them, the one-piece treatment and drag the fight out as long as you can so that you can eventually amass resources and then start up your own game plan and win. You can do this by playing followers that your opponent has to attack first before they can attack your leader directly, like followers with Ward and Shadowverse. Additionally, healing and forcing your opponent to work harder is also a viable option. And finally, if you have any cheap removal, to destroy followers, consider using that to take out some of their larger threats in the early game as well. And that's about it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something about aggro decks. Kind of level with you guys for a moment. I'm on like hour 7 of like editing this video together, and if you have liked any of the stuff I've been putting up recently, do me a favor and consider... Hold on. Tito, play the music. I gotta hang this one up, man. Alright. Do me a favor and like and subscribe to this video. If you really want to support these kinds of videos, do me a favor and, follow me on Twitter and Twitch as well. It's been so hard in these CPM streets, man. I lost my time to a 9-to-5 job, and things have never been the same.